What is up? This is your LA in a minute, and I'm here in downtown Los Angeles in front of Phillipe, the original, to find out if they really are the originator of the French dip sandwich, or is it Kohl's? They both have compelling claims that go back more than 100 years. So I want to find out the real origin story of the French dip sandwich. Is it Phillipe or is it Kohl's? Let's get into it. So Philippe's namesake, Philippe Mathieu, immigrated from France to Buffalo, New York in 1901. By 1903, he moved to Los Angeles and opened a deli with his brother. By 1908, he opened the first Phillipe on Aliso Street, but it wasn't until 1918 that he served the first French dip sandwich. So there are a couple different stories for how the French dip came about. One of them is that one day in 1918, a policeman, or maybe it was a fireman, came in and asked for a sandwich, and Philippe accidentally dropped the French roll into the roasting pan filled with juices. The patron, policeman or fireman, said he would take the sandwich anyway, and a legend was born. However, a little twist in the story comes from Philippe Gilheim, who was the owner of Philippe in 2008. He says that it was indeed a firefighter, and the firefighter received a sandwich with a very stale French roll that was probably left over from the weekend. And he complained to Philippe Mathieu, who said, "Give me the damn thing back." And he dunked it in the juices, and he said, "Are you happy now?" And the firefighter was. And that's how the sandwich was born. Or was it? So the origin story founder Philippe Mathieu told to the LA Times in 1951 is a little bit more straightforward. He said one day a police officer came in, asked if he could have one of the large French rolls split in half and filled with roast pork. He asked if he could cut it in half because he had a friend waiting outside, but not before he added pickles, onions, and olives. Other customers saw the sandwich and wanted to duplicate it, and one intrepid customer saw a pan with gravy from roasted meat and asked Philippe if he would dip the sandwich in that pan of gravy, which he did, and the sandwich has been a hit ever since. One thing's for sure. Other places started advertising a French dip sandwich even as far away as Iowa by 1930, who always referred to it as a French dip pork sandwich at that point. Also worth noting is the sandwich is called a French dip, even though there's nothing French about it. Might be that Philippe Mathieu's most notable characteristic was that he was French and that he was dipping the sandwich in juices. Now, Kohl's Pacific Electric Buffet also opened in 1908, and it was opened by Henry Kohl, a German immigrant who opened the restaurant inside the Pacific Electric Railway terminal at the ground floor to ensure maximum foot traffic. Now, Henry Kohl was smart. He opened a check cashing service in the back of the bar. It was the first of its kind in all of Los Angeles, and he quickly realized that people will want to spend some of that cash on food and drinks. Now, Kohl's claim as the originators of the French dip comes from a customer who apparently had sore gums and asked if his hard French roll could be dipped into the juice where the meat was cooking. The chef complied, and soon customers, even with healthy gums, were asking for the sandwich. But the thing is with Kohl's, there's no written record of a French dip anytime near the inception of the French dip from Philippe. In fact, that very origin story comes from Giddy Behesti in a newspaper article from 2007 who bought Kohl's in 1989, and it seems to be an oral history passed down amongst employees. Unfortunately, there's been no interview with Henry Kohl or anybody who worked with Kohl's before that time to really substantiate when the Kohl's French dip sandwich was first served. So look, I think the research supports one sandwich as the original over the other, but both Philippe and Kohl's make great French dip sandwiches, and both are integral to the history of the development of Los Angeles. All right, LA, it's been a minute.